Run away, run away, run away from the plant life. Run away, run away, run away because Mother Nature wants you to die. Run away, run away, run away from M. Night Shyamalan. Run away, stop giving this fucker money to make these movies. Whoa, run away, whoa, run away, whoa, run away. I'm John Rant with the retro view of The Happening. Oh boy, this proves not only does Mother Nature want you to run away and go ahead and die, but it proves that if you can't be with the one you love, love the one you're with, love the one you're with. So, drop my notes. Yeah, let's get ready for this rant. Whoa, boy, The Happening. Anybody seen The Happening? Have you seen The Happening? Did it make you as angry as it made me? Because I watched this when it first came out in theaters. I watched it with either my best friend or a now former girlfriend. I don't exactly remember which. I do remember the theater being visibly angry while watching this because remember when M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong, Chang Chang, Chang Chang Shabbat. Wait, I've done that whole thing. Oh, yeah, I don't even have any more song references. It was written, produced, and directed and butchered the fuck away by M. Night Shyamalan. Remember when he made movies that at least didn't suck pond water? That didn't actively insult you? That didn't make you think that this guy is just playing a prank? That this guy has just got such cachet now? That he decides to just take any concept and turn it into a movie. This movie is at the time was the worst thing he did. And then The Last Airbender came out. And that was the worst thing he did. And then After Earth came out. Jaden fucking Smith deserved to be blacklisted, ironically, from Hollywood because of what he fucking did. Because he was fucking terrible. Jada Pinkett Smith, however, should be blacklisted from Hollywood for being a terrible actress. Maybe she passed on her genetics to him, because goodness fucking me, that was bad. Then The Visit was kind of okay, bit implausible, but whatever, and then Split. And then Old. Check out my review of Old if you want to see me get really goddamn angry, but yes, The Happening. The Happening. I'm not prepared yet for this, guys. Ow. Stupid idea. Less painful than rewatching The Happening. This movie is fucking excruciating. A goddamn abomination. M. Night Shyamalan should have been brought up on capital charges for this fucking movie. Taken as a comedy, it's still not funny. I mean, sure, you can fucking laugh at it. They tried to make it like a Twilight Zone, episode, or like one of those 2-hour editions of the Twilight Zone. Or no, wait, no, they only did them as an hour. Remember how they tried to extend the Twilight Zone season 4 to like 1 hour, and while the episodes were good, they were better at 30 minutes because they gave you more to think about. Yeah, unfortunately, this movie was barely, a first draft, and they just decided to stretch this motherfucking thing out to 90 minutes, which actually felt like it lasted 3 years. Mark Wahlberg was in this. Every time I see Mark Wahlberg, I now see John Cena. And every time I see John Cena, I see Mark Wahlberg. It is a vicious cycle that will never fucking end. Just like this movie never seemed to fucking end. It was plagued with terrible, terrible writing. Zooey Deschanel, however the hell you say her name, it's a good thing she's hot because she was fucking irritating as fuck in this. John Leguizamo was in this, I assume as some kind of tree elf that they brought on set. And then Betty Buckley was in this. The nursery owner that liked to talk about hot dogs, not even Armour hot dogs. They couldn't even get the advertising for that. This had to be hot dogs. Couldn't be an Oscar Mayer wiener. That is exactly what he wanted to be. He just wanted to be an Oscar Mayer wiener because everybody would be in love with him. Okay, the rhyme doesn't quite work. His name is Frank Collision. Ironically, he's never been in a car accident in his life. Har har. Kristen Connolly, by the way, was in this 3 years before she achieved more, big name status in Cabin in the Woods. Kristen Connolly also is 42 now and looks about 21. Good on her. She was in Deep Water recently. I don't know why anybody was in deep water. This is about the happening. What was happening? Oh, hi, rerun. Nobody gets it. Nobody watching this review will get that. If you do, please type in the comments. So, Mother Nature plots her revenge. She is going to take vengeance. She's going to unleash her vengeance and furious anger on the human race by releasing toxins from plants, trees, and using the massive stupidity of everybody in this fucking movie to, well, yeah, basically kill people. Yeah, it makes people die. This toxin is being released by the plants because the plant is pissed. Okay, that kind of concept actually might be scary. The problem with a movie like this is from the word go, you're laughing uncontrollably. You're also laughing to hide the pain of how bad this movie is. It's just... There's an opening with... James Newton Howard, by the way, does the music for this, too, along with doing the music for Signs. Check out my retro review of Signs. I just posted it recently. But listen to the clouds. They'll tell you to fuck off and watch something else. Man, those clouds are vicious. Vicious little cloud. Oh, God. Oh, that was seagull poop right to my eyes. And still less painful than the happening. So... everybody suddenly gets frozen in time. They're walking backwards. They can't go home, but they can't stay here. I know those aren't the lyrics, but whatever. It's only a semi-colonic version of semi-sonic. So, is that blood? It's like the only good line. And it was done by Kristen Connolly. The gorgeous Kristen Connolly, I might say. And we're just in New York. Oh yeah, and the friend next to her stabs herself with her hairpin thing. That's about the length of a football field. It could have stabbed 50 people if she actually would have swung it right. And she could have stabbed the writer. And we wouldn't have had to have dealt with any more of M. Night's movies. How does that fucker keep getting funding? How? What was the redeeming quality of this movie? Who thought... how did the studio look at this and say, yeah, that looks good enough to release? Hey, M. Night, did you bother shooting any of these scenes more than once? Did you bother even rehearsing any of this stuff? We did one take, and that's the one we're going with. So, yeah, we were in New York, and people start dropping like flies. But at these rent prices, who can blame them? I kid. It's like the New York Destruction Crew. Anybody remember the Destruction Crew? If you're a wrestling fan, you might know them better as Bo and Blake, the Beverly Brothers. Wait. Yeah, the Destruction Crew. Or were they the Wrecking Crew? No. Whatever. One of them was the Andersons, one was Bo and Blake, the Beverly Brothers. So, the construction crews just gave up, as should everybody in this movie. God in heaven! Some weird guy looks up and... I've seen him in something, I just can't picture what. So, according to Mark Wahlberg, who's a teacher, honeybees are disappearing. No, not the bees, not the bees. Oh, they're in my eyes. Oh, no, so painful, please. No, stop. Go watch the unbelievable... or the unbearable weight of massive talent. Go watch that. It's unbelievable. It's not unbearable. It's good. It's part of the Nick Cage community. So, you need to be respectful of nature. There's a terrorist attack happening because people are dying everywhere in parks, near trees and plants. Nobody makes this correlation. And then they do, and then they still act shocked that this stuff is still happening. Because people are stupid and bad at everything in this. There are 3 stages, by the way. It's a coordinated attack. It's a confused state, and you don't know what the fuck's going on, so that pretty much sums up everybody in this movie. In front and behind the camera. Physical disorientation, loss of direction. Also describes everybody on camera and behind the camera of this movie. 3rd stage, fatal. The audience watching this movie. I literally felt like walking out into traffic after watching this, and Traffic came out 8 years prior. Whatever happened to Erica Christensen? Why wasn't she in bigger movies? Oh, swim fan, right, swim fan. That would probably do it. Okay, everybody, don't panic. Stop panicking! What the fuck's wrong with you? So yeah, Alma and, Elliot, Mark Wahlberg and Zooey Deschanel, who, by the way, is beautiful and also incredibly infuriating in this, because she has the acting ability of a fucking turnip. Granted, I think a turnip on camera actually would have been better. A turnip behind the camera would have done better. Turn up behind the camera. Wait, it's like turn up and do something better. Turn up the beat. They had no good music in this either. They just had stupid cliched haunting music. Because the planet's pissed. Hey, look, we fucked up the goddamn planet. There is a way to do that. They had a million ways to do this, and not just die in the Northeast. They could have done this. They could have done this any other way. They literally chose the worst fucking way to do it. It's like the Asylum made this, but the Asylum at least would have had a little bit of fun for 20 minutes. So, basically contact your loved ones and make sure that they're okay or they're dead. Does it really matter? No. Much like Signs, a whole bunch of stuff is happening off camera. Because M. Night figures, oh, they won't see it, so they'll be scared. No, we'll just be annoyed because you're a fucking hack. So Julian is a terrible best friend. And again, John Leguizamo is a tree elf, so of course tree elves should be boiled in oil. Or boiled somehow. Boiled and served like in Willow. They serve tree elves in Willow. I need to rewatch that. Ellie and Nama are fighting. And then there's toxins. Stopping people and causing them to lose their will to live. Much like the audience that watched this goddamn movie. Any audience. I said the same thing in my Signs review, and I'm going to say the same thing here, and it's even worse. It's even more egregious. Nobody knows how to act like an actual goddamn human. It's like if a stage play was directed by a sea cucumber and put on film. That's really what this is. It's fucking terrible. It is fucking terrible. So, sure, argue about your relationship as the post-apocalyptic event is incoming. That'll solve everything. Nobody picks the right moment to talk about anything. Nothing. Help! Help me, Spock. Help me. So, this cop ends up getting infected with the toxin, and he shoots himself, and then it's pass the cop gun around, it's pass her around, go around, come on, bullets, work, boom! I can't really simulate much of that because I don't want to actually imply that. Don't do that. If you ever actually think of doing that, please contact your friends, your family. You are cared about. Don't feel that you need to do that. But now it's in Philly and Boston. We've lost contact with who? Everyone! Gary Oldman, what the fuck are you doing here? You're supposed to be in the professional and better movies than this. Even though he was in The Unborn and Red Riding Hood within 2 years of each other. He must have needed a paycheck, or they must have needed star power and cut him a big check for that. They're in Filbert, Pennsylvania. Where's Filbert, Pennsylvania? Does anybody in Pennsylvania know where Filbert is? Is there an actual town named Filbert? I said Filbert so many goddamn times, it's lost all meaning. It had no meaning to begin with. Sorry to anybody in Filbert, Pennsylvania if I offended you, all 5 of you that exist. So the diner hasn't been this hopping since the last post-apocalyptic event that was, I assume, the Night of the Living Dead, because it kind of looks like the same locations. So they show footage of a zookeeper who wasn't lying around because he let lions chew his limbs off. And let's be honest, I mean, if you have a hungry, horny lioness, she will rip you asunder. Don't ask me how I know this. I will be taking no further questions. So, the best friends separate because John Leguizamo decides to go get his wife. That guy got married, and I can't even get a call back. So, he's a math guy, and he tells math figures to a woman in the van as they're panicking because they realize, hey, wait a second, there's something in the air, so let's have our windows open. Wait, shit, we probably should close all the windows. Close the vents. Let's hotbox this goddamn car. Yeah, choke on your own carbon monoxide. God, if only you would. And then, there we go. That's it. That's it. He ended up dying. He ended up dying a little bit later. We then go to the nursery where the aforementioned Frank Collision talks about hot dogs. Not Armour hot dogs. You like hot dogs. They have protein and all that. So, the plants can create new toxins. They can do a whole bunch of... Man, I shot my voice in that intro. They can, evolve and do stuff and release chemicals that maybe can make M. Night Shyamalan a better director. Or even a competent director. Even a normal human being. Maybe that should know he should step the fuck away and take his millions and get the fuck... Stop. Don't do this anymore. So, there are bodies in the trees. Man, landscaping is at an all-time low by hanging the bodies high. Doesn't make any sense. And then John Leguizamo tries to tell math problem to this lady, but he tells her the wrong thing, or tells her the wrong answer because air is getting in through this little slit, this little bitty slit right here. That's doing this, it's doing this. breathing on him and everybody else. And then John Leguizamo dies. Only in the movie. Actually, he seems like a nice guy. I just hated everybody in this movie and really didn't want to see them ever again. So everybody's in the field after people were found in the road. There's a military guy that goes nuts, and that's it. That's it. He starts to go a little bit nuts, but not quite, because we have a mother talking to her daughter. She puts it on speaker. Those Nokia phones, you couldn't run the battery down those things if you tried. Calculus, I see in calculus. Whatever. Sadly, it's the line that made the most sense, besides, is that blood? And then, the daughter, by the way, who's, Jess, Ashlyn Sanchez, who I don't think has been much of anything of note, because I couldn't really find much on her IMDb. Well, she's upset because she found out her dad died. Her dad was John Leguizamo. He was already doomed as it is. She will have a better life. I don't know why I hate John Leguizamo. Maybe it's because his character was so fucking annoying in this. So, they discover that the plants are doing this, and that the plants are targeting groups. So we need to go to a small populated area. Maybe you should try separating into group. Nope, cluster together. And then people are dying. Over the hill and through the woods. To Grimar's shot we go. Boom, boom. And yeah, people are dying while Elliot's trying to figure out this stuff. And maybe it's the plants that are setting people, or people are setting off the plants. Maybe plants are setting off people. Maybe it's the script that's setting me off the deep end. Run away, nothing happened. That's the tagline for this movie. They have 2 kids with them. There's a bunch of nuclear plants in the Northeast, by the way, all powered by Mr. Burns and run by Homer Simpson. And I'm talking to a plastic plant. I'm still doing it. And then it's a show house. It's mighty, mighty. The fake stuff's all about. And then there are a bunch of 2 groups arrive. And then a John Deere mower decides to roll over the bodies. Let the bodies hit the mow. Oh, well. So, the kid's crying uncontrollably. I mean, understandable, because a kid would be upset or whatever. This is why you don't bring a kid to an apocalypse. You make sure to leave them to fend for themselves. I shouldn't say that, but seriously, I don't think you understand how much I loathe children. I don't want to see children abused, but I also don't want children, being so goddamn annoying in movies that I have to put up with them. It's like Volcano. Remember that kid in Volcano? That kid that caused pretty much every goddamn event because that kid just wouldn't fucking go off camera? Yeah. Just unfortunately is pretty goddamn annoying. They tried to make it sentimental. It wasn't. And then this guy that decides to shoot people with a shotgun or something, he doesn't want the air in, so he pokes the gun out an open slat where the air could get in. He shoots the 2 kids that are with them. And of course, so racist. Of course, the black kid dies like 5 millionth. That's how the cliches work. And then we see 2 ladies as a version of comedy that are knitting while wearing gas masks. It never really took off. Edna, I can't feel my face. Well, Ethel, it'll be all right. Why they're talking like 2 1940s serial gangsters, I don't know. So, the event, and on the news report, the event could suddenly end without warning. Could the movie have ended before it started? I would have been happy and given the movie 5 stars if it had done that. So, Betty Buckley plays Mrs. Jones and me. Nobody gets that reference. And, why, I'm a lemon drink. Oh, Mark Wahlberg, I thought I'd see you again. I think this movie broke me again. This movie broke me previously, and I put myself back together. Maybe that was a bad breakup right after this movie. Moving on from that. I don't even remember if that was it. So, Mrs. Jones is nuts. She accuses them of wanting to murder her in her sleep. What? No. Also, there's a spring house where slaves used to be kept and people could talk through a pipe into the house. Well, that won't come back to play in the movie with a few minutes left. So Mrs. Jones decides to just crack and hit her head into the goddamn windows and break the windows. And then Elliot gets into the basement and somehow is okay. And Alma and Jess are in the Springhouse, it has a frog. The frog's the best actor in the movie, by the way. And they talk and everything, and the dialogues, this is the end, isn't it? God, I fucking wish it was the end about, I don't know, 80 fucking minutes ago, and I think we were about 80 minutes into this movie. Well, if we're gonna die, I want to be with you. I'm with you. And love conquers all. I think that's the message of this movie. I refuse to fucking care. So 3 months later, everything's back to normal. They just scooped the dead bodies or whatever, threw them in a goddamn pile and set them on fire. There we go. And they're raising Alma as their own. No. Alma and Elliot are raising Jess as their own. I forgot the characters because I don't fucking care. Oh, and Alma's pregnant. Hooray! Bringing a kid into a post-apocalyptic world. It's also Philadelphia, so yeah, I'd be pretty upset too. Sorry, Philly. Philly is cool. It's just, well, then again, they boost Santa Claus, so I imagine they could probably move on from a pile of dead bodies from a construction site and everything. And then the news decides to say it's a plant. We get it. It's a warning. It's like the red tide in the ocean, except plants can't get up and move around. Well, they can if the wind hits. You fucking moron. But it only happened to one place, so we can't believe that it's actually nature doing this. But then we go to France. And it was a sequel tease. I'd like to take this opportunity to say that M. Night Shyamalan should have never been born. For putting movies like this on the goddamn earth. Bit harsh? Don't fucking care. Yeah, they're happening. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.